Hello everybody and welcome to Got Next Gaming and a part 2 for my base tour here in my playthrough of 7 Days to Die. We left off the last time in the beginning of day 21 Horde Night, and that's what we're looking at right here as we kind of transition in. And this is, remember, my first playthrough of the game, so this is more about me having fun and learning the game and the mechanics of it and everything else, and learning from my mistakes as we go along and we play here. So we're taking on day 21 here, and we have a whole bunch of zombies at my front door. I thought I could set up these wire frames here, the rebarb, and kind of shoot through them to get these zombies and get them off my back, but they proved to be a little bit more stronger than my skill set was at the time. So they were just kind of getting right to the door, and then I couldn't shoot them. I had to open the door and kind of take them on. I forgot that I had some weapons sitting there, like the pistol and the SMG, and I decided to go with a wood club instead to try to take them down, bashing them in the head as I went. And this proved to be futile, to say the least, as some of these zombies are quite tough, and even though you knock them down, they tend to get back up, and then they're hitting you and you don't even realize it, and then you die on your front porch miserably, just like that. But I mean, so that's the day 21 Horde. I eventually went back out there and finished them off, and then there was a whole pile of zombies there to deal with. There was only a few more after that. You could see here as they were trying to break down my door, and going in there and just taking them down. And here, like I said, learning from my mistakes and just taking out the SMG and shooting away at them. I didn't have much ammo, so that's kind of why I think I held back on using the SMG at first. And then my skills with the gun are pretty weak because there's no auto aim, and I'm trying to get headshots, and it's just not working out for me. And then I resort to the pistol, and we go to the pistol to finish them off. And this one over here is climbing on top of dead bodies and trying to get over the wall now instead. And then those crawlers, they're a tough group. They're a tough bunch. They do not want to die. They just keep going. You can't stop them. You hit them, they'll kind of play possum for a moment, and then they start all over again. And I think it's the idea behind them. They're supposed to be resilient, but they are a nuisance, to say the least. And yeah, it shows. It shows. My experience definitely shows here in this run through of day 21, as they've now taken out a couple of the rebarb frames, and they're working on some more of them. And these guys crawling just don't want to give up, no matter how many times I shoot them. And I can't seem to hit them in the head as they're swaying back and forth. Finally get that one. And then there's this one here standing up, and I get her in the gut. And this one finally crawls his way through the door. And yeah, so there you go. And because I'm trying to not waste ammo, I'm waiting to see if they're actually still alive or if they're dead. And it's a whole bunch of things. So once you start getting later on in the game and you're able to produce your own ammo, I'm sure it gets a lot easier at that point. But yeah, I will say that the Horde nights are a lot of fun. They are very repetitive. I mean, it's kind of the same deal over and over, and it's just finding a better way to kind of handle and deal with the Horde that as they come in, and the sheer amount of zombies that you have to deal with all at once. The numbers do increase every time these nights happen, every 7 days, so there is that. They get a little bit tougher every single time. I've also found out that lights are super important because the lights keep them from running. It slows them down. They do not run when they have a light on them. So being out in front of the house here like I have been set up has kind of helped a bit because of the light. It's definitely given me a little bit of an advantage as they don't move as quickly being in the direct light. So that's an advantage that I did have here, and something I'm going to consider going forward to build some of those spotlights or mobile spotlights or whatever they are, and maybe finding a flashlight to help out as well as we do that. So moving forward, now that the Horde seems to have dissipated a lot, we can see the damage that's been done to the front there, has the rebarb that I placed to kind of make a hole to shoot through was chewed up and destroyed. The door is pretty much destroyed. We've got bodies laying everywhere. We've got a few zombies left, as we have this crawler sitting here, and I didn't even realize he was there, and he was hitting me. Inexperience. And then there's this one. There's a big wide opening, but he's going for the door. Because of the way the AI is pathed, they set it up to go for the door. So he misses the big hole in the wall, and instead goes directly for the door, and he still is able to get a good shot on me, nonetheless. And now we're going to get into putting the base back together and picking up the pieces, trying to build something a little bit better here. So with the door pretty much destroyed, we're going to just kind of smack it back together here. We do need to get a hold of my wrench because it does do a lot quicker work. And eventually we'll need to upgrade that tool and go for like a claw hammer. That's like a one-shot like upgrade type of tool, which is enormous. It's huge in this game and trying to get things done and done quickly. So now we're just going to go around and we're going to try to finish off this wall. We're going to do some general improvements here and there. We do have a lot more to work on as far as the wall goes. Also, we're going to take a glimpse at some things moving on down the road later on in the video where we'll see my work towards an actual second like base. And that tunnel that I was digging that I showed you guys in the first episode, we're going to take a look at that as well. And we're going to see how that comes together. Like I said, working on getting ourselves a second base and a way of getting there without having to deal with the zombies at night. So the reason behind it, and I'll explain all of that as we go forward a little bit later on. We're going to talk about why I decided to go that route when it's necessary. But here we're just going to finish up all of the little wall as much as we possibly can. We definitely have to go and produce resources such as concrete and get ourselves some rocks, stones, so that we can break them up into sand and whatever else. And there, as like I said, there is a lot to do. I'm gonna have to finish off these little rebarbs as well because I keep grabbing them every time I try to go through the front door, and it gets a little bit annoying to say the least. Now I'm just doing, like I said, improvements here, kind of just upgrading and doing some improvements. And again, learning from my mistakes as I go. You see I placed the railing wrong and didn't rotate it. And here we're rotating it. I'm putting this railing in so that my guy doesn't fall down this big, huge opening that I have here and break a leg, which we don't want to do. Don't want to break a leg in this game or get a sprain or whatever because it slows you down and you need all the speed that you can get because you don't got much speed, but you have enough. And you don't want to lose any of it. So we're going to go over here. We're going to finish this off. We have to break this piece of railing before we move on to replacing the railing in the right spot. Then after that, we're going to go down below into the mine, and we're going to do a little bit of a time lapse in this video as well. Our obligatory time lapse is about to happen here, and add a little music to it to make it more interesting. Enjoy. So there you have it. Yes, I actually time-lapsed me digging away at some rocks underneath the house here in 7 Days to Die. And I did it because I wanted to show you that that was about 2 hours of me chopping rocks, no joke, while I watched like a video or a movie, I think it was a movie I was watching on Netflix, while I was chopping rocks, and I cut it down into about 2 minutes for you guys to see. So, moving forward, like I said, we have a lot of work here to do. We're going to do some upgrades for This particular house here, we're doing the upgrades to those rebar blocks that are there because we need to finish them off, and we definitely have other things to fix as well. We need more concrete, I believe, and we need to then finish these off here to complete this aspect of it. We're going to upgrade the walls again at some point, and then we're going to upgrade the door again at some point to make it stronger, because you get hit with a lot of zombies, and like I said, they path right to the door. So we're going to go around here to the sides, and you're going to see that we are just finishing up again, doing a lot of the tedious work of just sitting here and pounding away at blocks to get them formed up to be a nice solid concrete wall. Now, transitioning ahead, we're going to take a look at the new house that I kind of picked up in that little town. I want to loot the town, and I want to be able to loot. I want to have a way to be able to loot it easily, and not have to run all the way back across to where my main base is. So I started working on this here. I chose this house here because it was kind of right in line with that tunnel that I'm digging. So I want to set up the walls around it to get it all squared away. This way, when I do break through, the zombies can't find a way through that and into my caverns and my tunnel that's leading all the way back to my main base, and that would be just ugly. We need to consider security here at this point, and that's what we're doing here. So we're going to build up the walls, then we're going to come into the house here, we're going to get rid of this bed that's in my way, and then we're going to go ahead and start digging. I'm showing this part of it because this is where I actually start the digging inside the house here to create that little basement area, going into the basement or going into the ground to connect to the tunnel that's coming across from the other house. And it takes a little bit of work, to be honest with you, and it wasn't as simple or easy as I thought it was. I thought I had it lined up, but apparently I did not, and it's kind of comical in a way. Again, inexperience, but as I now have the experience, it gets much easier to do this stuff and then figure out where we got to be. So also another important aspect of it is doing, making sure you're using the right tools. Doing the work with the right tools is very important. You saw that I started off with the wrench to break the bed, and then I had the fire axe to break up the wood, and then choosing the pickaxe to break through the actual, I want to say concrete, but that's what, like, you know, it's a harder material. So then you get down below the concrete aspect of it, or the stone blocks there, and we have more dirt. And then the dirt, it's easier to use a shovel to do the dirt, believe it or not. If you use the pickaxe, it doesn't work as quickly as the shovel. So using the right tools is super important as well. And again, part of showing all of this is to show you the work that goes into it, but it is quite rewarding. And this is the part of the game that I love, the building part of it, the planning part of it, and that aspect of it. You can see right there, I hit it once with the shovel and it digs a nice little hole. I hit it like once with the pickaxe and it did practically nothing there. But this is where we're going to go start digging underneath this house to get our connection made up that goes to the other main base, and then we'll have two bases, and this will be good for looting this town because there's a hospital in this town as well, and we want to be able to loot all of the stuff we possibly can here, get all the materials, all the little goodies, and this is going to make it that much easier to run back and forth between bases to do this, especially at nighttime. Like, you know, when you're being chased down by a zombie and stuff like that, you want to be able to just kind of go here, drop everything off, and then move the things we need to go to the main base over when we do need to move that over, and not have to be bothered in that way. And this is just part of being smart and playing the game, you know? Yeah, I like fighting the zombies, and it's the fun part of it when you get to that point for, like, the hordes and stuff like that, and you plan out for it, and it makes it very interesting, but you want to make your life easy and trying to find resources, and this is part of doing that. So, anyway, this is going to be part 2. This will be into this one, and then it will be a part 3 as well. I may kind of skip ahead, far ahead, because I've done a lot more since this has been recorded, and I may just kind of transition into other things that I've built and just kind of give like a final base tour rather than the actual building aspects of it, and just give you a tour of the entire kind of system and network of function of things. And that's going to do it for this episode. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Leave your comments below. Leave a like for the video. I'll see you on the channel, and bye-bye now.